Good morning and welcome to what?
Webinar Wednesday again.
Webinar Wednesday. Here we are back again, and it's a snowy day everywhere, I think, in Scotland, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. We have much whiteness up in Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Same with you in Glasgow, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, quite thick here in Glasgow. Yeah, quite thick, and it hasn't changed overnight. I was going to ask you what your journey to work was like today.
Oh, it was treacherous. I mean, really. Yeah. I mean, that was the whole. Each of those 12 steps could have ended in disasters.
Right. Okay. 12 steps to wooden heaven. There you are. This is
12 steps. Well, but isn't it odd that a year ago, or just over a year ago, I had one of the shortest commutes of anybody I knew, and now it's one of the longest, because usually most people are in their living room or the kitchen or the bedroom.
Yeah.
And I'm actually having to go outside.
Yeah. Okay. So today we are being joined by Sandy Stark in about 5-10 minutes, aren't we, Alistair? As today's webinar Wednesday guest. So
yeah.
Do you want to tell us about Sandy a little bit and what Sandy's going to talk about?
Yeah. Cool. So Sandy's going to join us and talk a little bit about his work with SHMU FM, and also he's been doing some stuff with SCLD, the Scottish Commission for Learning Disability, around about a bit of research to do with COVID-19. So bits and bobs about that. So that'll be good. We've got a hello from Dan.
Yeah. What was the first bit that Alistair you said? Which FM?
SHMU.
Oh, SHMU FM.
Have you heard of SHMU?
Well, we will hear about it then, won't we? That's good.
We'll hear about SHMU. It stands for Station House Media Unit. Very catchy.
Okay.
That's it's up in the northeast. It's quite a community radio station. It's quite good. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and today is the first time we're doing something else as well. It's the first time we're broadcasting Webinar Wednesday live through Citizen Network TV, as well as our normal platforms. So the In Control Scotland Facebook and YouTube channels, we're also broadcasting now through Citizen Network TV. So it's going out around the world, this, isn't it, Alistair? For the very...
Yeah, absolutely. So we're folk watching CNTV in a variety of countries around the world. So it could be if anybody's watching it live from any of these different countries, as long as you're watching it just now, you can ask questions or post comments, but obviously afterwards, then you can make comments, but you won't necessarily answer them.
Yeah.
Got a comment from Ruth here. Good luck, Sandy.
Yeah.
So Sandy's brought his fan club today.
Yeah, that's excellent. He's brought his own viewers, which is excellent, which is always what we want on Webinar Wednesdays. Yeah. Okay, so last Wednesday, we were sitting here doing our Webinar Wednesday, and around about that time, the Independent Review of Adult Social Care in Scotland was launched. So it was launched last Wednesday. And it's a very important document, a very interesting document, and it's now out there. So if people haven't seen it, I would recommend to anyone to go and view the independent review. You can actually access it through our website now. It's easy to find if you Google it. There is a short film that goes with it, which gives you a flavour of the independent review. I don't know. Have you seen that, Alistair, the short film?
Yeah, we have actually. We quite liked it. We watched half of it in Feel Good Friday. I mean, it's only 10 minutes long, but what we did was we watched like maybe 2 minutes of it, and then we had a bit of a discussion about, the points that it raised and what people thought about some of the comments. Some of the things that folk had said were quite positive was that statement by Derek about it shouldn't have to be a fight. That social care shouldn't have to be a fight, and that was quite a powerful thing that was highlighted, because it's obviously been the sort of thing that we hear quite a lot. And so those folk were generally impressed with the honesty of that. We're going to do the other half of it this week, and obviously Shabana's comments and stuff. So it was really, we thought that bit was quite good. Obviously the report itself is 109 pages long, so it's a bit of it's a bit of an effort through.
It is, and it does say there's an easy read coming soon. If you go to the Scottish Government website, it says easy read coming soon. So hopefully there will be an easy read coming soon. But there are 56 altogether. There are 56 recommendations. I know later on this morning there'll be a meeting of the SDS Collective, and we're looking at finalising a collective statement around the independent review, which will be essentially endorsing the recommendations and emphasising some of the points that we, through the collective, think are particularly important. And it was interesting what you said about moving from that idea of always having to challenge or that feeling that it's always a chore, or it's always you're always having to fight. And it's really interesting because I think there's an important statement. One of the recommendations talks about a relentless focus on involving people who use services, and that's moving from that idea of relentless challenge to a relentless focus on involving people who use services, their families and carers, and developing new approaches. So it very much emphasizes that change in thinking, what it calls a change in paradigm, from seeing social care as a burden or as something that we have to slice up and always try and work out how we can use those limited resources, to seeing it as something that we need to invest in, and something which is about all of us, not about people who are different from us, but it is about all of us. Yeah, it's really good language. I mean, I think, and one of the things, I guess, looking at it, I mean, it's quite bold. Obviously, this the whole thing about a national care service, and obviously it's going to be a difficult one to try and thread that balance between not creating another massive bureaucracy, but trying to make sure that folk have decent terms and conditions would be absolutely fabulous, because that is something that we've kept seeing, is that the social care workforce's pay and conditions really haven't kept pace at all with a lot of inflation, etc. over the years, and when we've had this in the past, that whole dipping back of, you get spells where things move on, and it's just down to the local markets about what folk are prepared to pay. And the question round about the procurement models and the competition, how unhelpful some of that is. There's a lot to go through, isn't there? There's a heap to go through. There is. There's a whole section on fair work in the report, a whole section of recommendations on fair work, and there's a whole section on commissioning as well, commissioning for public good, which has got its own, I think it's got 9 recommendations on that and 8 recommendations around fair work. So it is wide ranging. It does cover all the areas that you'd expect. There are some quite radical proposals in it, about like the National Care Service, and like the fact that it proposes that all charging for non-residential services should cease. And it talks about the need for further investment for preventative and early intervention. So it is, as we say, wide-ranging, radical, just as I think most people hoped it would be.
Yes.
And there will be a debate on the report in the Parliament on Monday, on the 15th.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what's said, see where that's taken up in the different manifestos. And so I think the thing for me is it's a hopeful report. It's a report that you read and think, actually, this gives me hope that improvements can be made. Because one of the key areas as well, without going on too much, is closing the implementation gap, closing the gap between rhetoric, what we all hope and we see in writing, to people's reality and people's experience. So
absolutely, and that's it's just absolutely so key, isn't it? It links really well with the work we're doing as well with Social Work Scotland, about we're focusing on accountability as part of our discussions, and trying to make sure that this doesn't become something that's optional by area, but actually properly implemented and embedded, so that it's not just talk.
Yeah. National Care Service, an interesting idea, isn't it? An interesting idea, and brings the potential for lots of change. So I think this is the thing about this report. The potential it brings for
potential. Fingers crossed, eh? And hopefully we'll get the chance to do more about, pushing forward with the ideas and helping to make it happen.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Shall we be joined by our guest then?
Yeah.
Here's Sandy.
Hello.
How are you doing, Sandy?
I'm fine, thank you.
Hi, good to see you again. We were just reminiscing this morning in our practice session, Sandy, about my first time I met you.
Yes, and that was about maybe 6 or 7 years ago now, I think.
That's right. You were on the catwalk, weren't you?
Was I on the catwalk, was I? I can't even remember.
What, the Young Scotland's Got Talent?
Yes, I was actually, yes.
That's right. And again, I mean, we're just having a bit of a chat about social care and stuff, because at that time you'd got a job as a social care worker at that stage, hadn't you?
That was I was a training support worker for VSA up here in Aberdeen. That is Voluntary Services Aberdeen.
Yes. And again, so you'd got into that through volunteering to start with, and then you got involved in that. So it's interesting. Yes, we've got a warm welcome here. So we've got a bit about just saying that we're going to be talking about the Scottish Commission for Learning Disability and SHMU FM. So before we get into all that, how's lockdown been for you?
Very, very busy. I've probably been busier now than before lockdown even started. So it's been absolutely fantastic. Yes,
we've got Keith was on the catwalk. Is that?
I don't think that's true. I think that's Michael.
I think that might be fake news.
I think that might have been one of Michael's strange dreams, perhaps. I'm not sure about that one.
I'm not going to say anything.
Yes.
Sandy, do you want to just introduce yourself for people who don't know you? Just tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Sandy Stark, and I come from Aberdeen. I'm a big Aberdeen fan and a West Ham fan, as a lot of people do know. And I just like to get involved in a lot of things. And I think, lockdowns, because everything's went online, everyone's using Teams and Zoom and whatever, it's brought people, it's brought a lot of people togetherness, basically. And it's brought, the organisation and everything together. And when you were speaking about social care there, a lot of people think social care means that you need help, physically and stuff. But there's a care side and a social side, and we're not. And people with a learning disability are not getting the social side at this moment in time. The social the social side is basically everything's done online, and a lot of people with a learning disability aren't getting the opportunity to be part of these things, because a lot of them don't understand how to work the technology.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that we've thought about quite a lot, haven't we, Alistair, in the past, and that idea that's in some ways people can get together more, but there's so many things that, well, some people are excluded completely, of course, if they can't access it. And then there are lots of things that have just closed down so much because you can't get out of the house, obviously. And that social aspect of people meeting up and just the simple things that you might have been able to do, you can't do anymore.
Yeah.
Is that a West Ham shirt in the background, Sandy? Sorry.
It is, yes.
Okay, I can see that hanging up on your wall there. That's nice.
No, I've had to turn my bedroom into an office basically for nearly a year now.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what Sorry, I'm just going to go and I've got a strange bit of sunshine coming through the snow I'm just going to go and change that, right? While you're talking for a second. I'm just going to move that so the light doesn't shine.
Okay.
Yeah. So so you want to say about how you got involved with SHMU FM and SCLD?
Well, the first way I got involved with SHMU was through their YRP system, and what YRP stands for Youth Radio Project, and there was about maybe 6 of us, part of my team. Every Saturday morning between 10 a.m. and 11, we were given a topic to do in the 6 of us or 4 of us that were in the studio at the time had to take a snippet away from the topic that we were given and do a little bit of research, and then we would broadcast it live every Saturday morning between 10 a.m. and 11.
Cool. That's excellent, and you've also been really active. You've been really active in the Stay in Touch SCLD group as well.
Oh yeah, that is one of the, that's been one of the highlights of my lockdown. Basically, is of the SCLD. I don't know whose idea this was to create this page, but it's absolutely amazing what whoever thought of creating this page, and it's just it's grown and grown every single day.
Yes, cool. We've got a question here from Dan, who's asking, do you have a learning disability yourself?
Yes, I do. I have cerebral palsy.
Yeah, okay. And we've also had a comment earlier on about, this is a comment about the adult social care, an emphasis on prevention instead of crisis management. Go a few steps further and look at advancing people's capabilities and opportunities rather than just basic needs. So that's an interesting point from Jim there. And I guess some of what you've just been talking about there, Sandy, is about folk having the space to do this, the social stuff, the well-being stuff, to keep yourself well, and not just the life and limb stuff that some people have ended up being left with.
Yeah, and the other thing about this, the social care side of it again is, giving people with a learning disability the opportunity to try things, and everything shouldn't be like, or you need that qualification to do this and whatever. Somebody with a learning disability would rather just go into either the setting and showcase their skills, and I think employers should be taking that into more consideration for people with learning disabilities.
No, that's good. Also, so we've got a link to SHMU here. Do you want to say a bit more about what SHMU is about?
Well, SHMU stands for Station House Media Unit, and well done for saying that, Alistair, right at the start as well, because it's not just about radio. We get involved in SHMU TV. We've got SHMU Press, and just last night, I'm away to do my SQA radio. So I just started last night as well. So every day is a school day. And if you want to find out any more information, is the website was just popped up there for you. Pop along onto it, and there's schedules for each day. We run 7 days a week, and it's all volunteer led. And all the volunteers have been very creative through lockdown. We've had to be, but because I thought when we went into lockdown, there wouldn't be radio and there wouldn't be this and that, but everything's just kind of stayed the same, because I think it's because everybody's coming together and working with each other, and we've made it happen.
Yeah.
So what were you saying? Every day is a SHMU day, then, really? That's what you were saying, wasn't it? Yes. And the other one was, if you've got your own train company, it could be called SHMU.
Oh my goodness.
He's available for children's parties.
That could be a jingle.
Yeah, you were saying about the SALD. What's that group called? What is it called?
Stay in touch.
The Stay in Touch page.
Stay in touch. Yeah. So, what sorts of things have been people? What's the sort of things that you do as part of the Stay in Touch page?
Well, every Friday, I'm a DJ. I love to DJ when we can get out and about again. I can't wait until that day actually happens. We go live on Zoom every Friday between 4 o'clock and 5:30 every Friday, and I just play tunes from 90s, 80s, just absolutely anything. I just play. I play a mixed bag.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And there's lots of other things happen. Like people sometimes ask a question of the day. What are folk been doing to keep themselves busy? How are folk? Folk share ideas they've had or things they've been up to. And I suppose it's just like a chat forum. And I guess it's a bit similar to, well, not similar to, but we've got our Feel Good Fridays. But that's like an active video chat where folk get together to just, without much of an agenda, just to have a news and catch up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've got a couple more questions up here. Now, start with important ones. Do you think McInnes should stay at Aberdeen?
Well, I said, well, I had this discussion with a few people over the weekend, and in my opinion, I think he's done his time. He's brought Aberdeen where they should be. We're in Europe, but I think it's time for fresh ideas for
fresh ideas.
That's clearly one you've been thinking about quite a lot, Sandy.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, you don't know who's watching this, and you've got to be careful.
Yes, you do. You won't be getting a signed shirt otherwise. No.
Well, that's it.
Right. So it's a SHMU question here from Dan. Because I know that SHMU's based in Woodside, and I know that partly, certainly historically, they got some of their funding was to do with areas of deprivation, and that there were restrictions about who could work there. Do you know off the top of your head whether that's still the case or whether they've widened that out?
Well, I wouldn't know, but I know who I can put you in touch with somebody. It's our volunteer coordinator, Tracy Ewan. Her email address is tracy.ewan@shmu.org.uk, and she will further, to answer your question, just put that question across to her.
Yeah.
If she can't answer it, she'll forward it on to the right person who can.
All right, that's fine. That's helpful. I mean, what part of town are you in?
Northfield.
Northfield. So I think it maybe has widened out, because I think it certainly was. Like I say, it was. There was a lot around about Woodside, because I knew somebody who was in Kincorth who was keen to get involved. Oh, this is like quite a few years ago, and he was told that he wasn't in the catchment area. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that's changed a little bit, and because it's obviously widened out a wee bit if they're including like Northfield in that as well. Yeah,
it's always been Northfield. So you've got, but if you go to like a Northfield Academy or a St Margaret Academy and a Torrey Academy, and I can't think of the other ones off the top of my head. But if you go to any of these schools, you will be able to join SHMU. It's not all about it's not all about just where you stay, basically. But if you attend any of these schools, because I know SHMU before lockdown went into the schools and did a little bit of work, because if school isn't for a young student, SHMU can maybe try to do like a transition course and do like employability courses and things like that. So it's once you get your foot in the door, you don't want to leave.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I'm just thinking one of the things is that we've been doing a bit of work with Daniel Farrell and Michael McEwen, who's watching today, about inclusive media and how folk with disabilities are portrayed and what opportunities folk get to be reporters and be involved in film crews and all various different things. And we might give you a shout and see if you're interested in being involved in the next, and other folks in the next one, because we're not just looking at TV, we're looking at radio, we're looking at print media. And one of the things we've been talking about is how do we get lists of people so that folk can say, oh, actually, I could do that. Production companies.
Yeah,
cool.
And that's the thing about SHMU as well. We're very, very, very inclusive. We don't turn people away. We don't turn people away. Because they don't think that they can do this. We will work with people to make that transition happen for them, basically.
We've got Kit Kat Penny and Disco Dave. They've still got their show.
Yes.
I was going to ask about the research that you're involved in as well, Sandy, because I think we're going to share some of that, won't we, today?
Yes. The research is part of the SELD. I was asked, I think it was back in, I think it was back in September, I would like to say, 2020, if I would like to come on board and be part of a co-steering group, part of the SELD, and I was delighted to come on board with this. So the co-steering group is trying to recruit people with a learning disability up and down the country. In Scotland, if people have got learning disability, they can take part in this research. And I think it's very, very important, and it's through Glasgow University that are holding this study. And I've been working tirelessly to get people with a learning disability up and down Scotland, and they're looking for at least 200 people with a learning disability, up and down Scotland, to take part in this. And there's 4 nations involved in this. There's Scotland, England, Wales, and Northern Ireland that are taking part in it. And Glasgow University was chosen, to take part in the opportunity as well.
And so it says there about you're going to interview people 3 times.
Yes, 3 times in the space of 6 months, basically. And what they're looking for is the impact that the COVID-19 study has had on you, basically. And there's probably about 30 questions that you'll be asked. But if when the researcher asks you a question, if that question doesn't, if you haven't been impacted by any of that questions, you don't have to answer it. You only answer questions that have impacted you.
So are you one of the people who's doing the interviews, Sandy?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
It's the research team down in Glasgow, but
okay.
But I am, I am one of the people that have been interviewed as well.
Right. Okay. And is it how many people in Scotland are being interviewed? Or is it 200 people altogether, or 200 people in Scotland, or?
We're trying to look for 200 people in Scotland.
Right.
So,
okay.
So it's my job, and there's another 3 people on the panel as well, but they couldn't be with me today. So you know, it's our job to help the SALD recruit people in Scotland to take part in this. And the closing date for the first round of interviews is the 17th of February.
Yeah.
So you've got a few weeks. You've got a few weeks if you want, you know, but you've probably got a week and a half basically, you know, to get, if this is something that interests you, to get involved. And the way the interviews can be done are through a phone call, Skype, Messenger, and over Zoom. So whatever way suits you, the interview can be done, and you can have a parent or carer sitting with you while you're getting interviewed by one of the researchers as well. So you don't have to be alone when you're getting interviewed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know the COVID-19 study, you know, a lot of people might not want to speak about it, but I think it's really, really important that we try and get, you know, a person with a learning disability to get their voice across. And what will happen is the researchers will take everyone's answers and questions and whatever, and then all this will get passed on to the government.
Okay, so you're part of the advisory group then, Sandy, and you're also trying to recruit people, to find people who might want to get involved in this research then, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Will you just share those slides again, Alistair, just so I'd quite like to have another look at some of them.
Oh, okay.
Can you manage that? Sorry.
Yeah. Right, 2 seconds. I'll just reshare it again.
Yeah.
Right. I'll just come back to the start.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So Glasgow are doing the research in Scotland, and other universities are doing it in other parts of the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's 3 interviews over the year. You're saying?
Yeah.
And anyone can get involved in that if they want to. If they've got a learning disability and they want to get involved, anyone can get involved. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From across Scotland, and I know you were saying there just about that you can come along with a parent or with somebody else to support you if you want to the interviews, and there's lots of different ways to do the interviews.
Yes. Another thing that I've forgotten as well, you can do the interview through a study, and not a study, questionnaire, but if you want to get signed up for it, one of the researchers will send a link out to you if you'd rather do it like through a survey, rather than doing it like face to face over Zoom or on a phone call or whatever.
Do you know how many people have had their interviews yet, Sandy? Any idea about that?
Well, I think there's about 80 of us done, or 90 of us done,
right?
So far, but that's for the first round of interviews.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's
that's
also
fine.
interesting that they've got that. They're saying that when the researchers write up the findings, they won't use your name, so that people should feel confident that they can share stuff even if it's difficult stuff for them to share, that it'll be confidential.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's good.
And those are, there's Ruth's email address and the phone number for SCLD, and then Roseanne will get in touch.
Yes. Roseanne's basically your main point of contact if you want to get signed up and be involved in the research.
Cool.
Excellent.
But I've also got a short interview that I done with Roseanne just about 3-4 weeks ago. If Alistair, if you want to share it.
Yeah, I'll just.
Yeah, what's this? A wee film?
Yes.
Yes. So this is. We won't be able to show it all, but no. we will be able to show some of it. So let's just see if we've got a second. Cancel. I'll just share video file. Let's see if it's coming up. It's because I've gone on to the other screen. You'll have to give us a second for me to bring it back up.
Yeah, so I suppose I'm just saying there's plenty of scope for people to get involved then still. But the idea is that they would need to do that over the next week and a half, really. That's why it's quite good to be asking people now, isn't it, then?
Yeah, definitely. And, I've been putting it all over my social media, and SALD, I've been putting it out, and it's been all over Twitter and things like that. And I am very, very confident that we'll manage to get our 200 mark.
Good.
Okay, so this is the video here. We'll just show a little bit.
With myself, Sandy Stark, and I'm not alone today. I have got a guest from a university. So would you like to introduce yourself and to tell us what university you're from, please?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Roseanne McGuire, and I'm a researcher working at the University of Glasgow. I'm here today to talk to Sandy about a study that we're doing called Coronavirus and People with Learning Disabilities. Sandy's going to ask me a few questions about it.
And why is Glasgow University being chosen to highlight a big study like this?
Well, Glasgow University is working with a couple of other universities, University in England, University of Manchester Metropolitan, University of Warwick, and we're working with the University of Wales and in Belfast as well. So across Ireland, Northern Ireland, Wales, England and Scotland, Glasgow University are working in Scotland to recruit people for the study. And we want to speak to people with learning disabilities to find out how the coronavirus pandemic has affected their lives.
So that's just a little bit. What we can do is we can probably share this as part of the in the chat. We can share the whole thing because it's like 15 minutes. So at least that gives people a bit of a flavour of maybe a bit of confidence about this is somebody I get to see the person who might be interviewing me.
Yes. That's it, yeah.
Cool.
And as I say, the interview isn't daunting. It's only about 20 minutes, half an hour, or maybe an hour of your time. But I just think it's really, really important while we're going through tough times. At the moment that we try and get people with a learning disability, their voice heard, because I feel sometimes people with learning disabilities, their voices get swept under the carpet, and it's we're now in 2021. For goodness sake, we need to make these things happen, and we need to get all these barriers lifted.
Yeah, and like Alistair, as you say, we can share a link to the film as well, can't we, across our own social media channels. But where is it at the moment, Sandy? I know you said you've been sharing it in lots of ways. Is it on SCLDs? Can you access it through SCLD or?
Yes, I've gave it to Ruth, and they said they were going to be putting it up on their main Facebook page.
Right.
I put it on my own social media. So if all you guys can share it from your end as well, it would be very much appreciated. And as I say, the deadline is the 17th of February.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. So what else are you looking forward to happening next, Sandy?
Am I allowed to say this?
Oh,
well, we don't know yet, do we? We haven't heard what you...
Going out on a Friday night and a Saturday night, and socializing with my friends, and
yes,
getting that first pint out.
Getting that first pint out, yes. Maybe a football match in person as well, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if the football wasn't on, I don't know. I think my mood would be down quite a lot. So I think we've got to be very, very grateful that the football is still being managed to be played. And I think as well. I think the Scottish League and the English League, it's been an interesting year already. We're only halfway through it. So a lot of exciting things to come, I think.
Yeah, it's just all the uncertainty, isn't it, for everybody? Looking forward, hopefully, and thinking things will get better, and hopefully things will get better soon. But still feeling it, all the uncertainty.
Yeah, but the thing is that I would say to people is I wish I could have a T-shirt made up of this. Anything is possible. Somebody out there, it's just about grabbing that. It's about grabbing the opportunity and running with it. If you've got an idea, just go for it. The sky is your limit.
Yeah, brilliant. That's really good, and I think it's that individual thing about what makes the difference to you, what works for you. One of the things we just chatted about before we went live as well is the never-ending thing about how far away holidays are as well, because obviously the Scottish government this week's just said that they're not just doing what England says, which is the 33, red sort of like line countries where folk are having to go into a hotel, for their quarantine. But they're saying at the moment in Scotland, it's any country abroad. So that's basically wiping out any chance of a holiday until they change until that moves on, because that's £1,750 per person to stay in a hotel once you come back. So
I know it's just crazy. I heard on the news this morning that there was there's a lady wanting to come back from New Zealand and visit her family, and she's refusing to pay the stay in the hotel for the 10 days, and she's refusing to pay the money. But I can kind of understand where she's coming from. It should be the people that are breaking the rules, having the house parties and stuff. It should be really pinpointed. But the thing is, we're all in this together. No, this isn't an individual thing right now. It's globally affecting everyone.
It is absolutely. So we just need to I don't know, we need to enjoy those things that we can enjoy, like you said, Sandy, like the football or whatever it is that floats your boat. Could be the sailing, whatever floats your boat, really. And we need to keep looking forward with hope, like you said, thinking about the opportunities that are around just now, and also thinking about the things that you want to do in the future as well. So I think all those things, for me anyway, and I can only talk about me, the best thing I can do is say, for me, that's how I cope with these sort of challenging and difficult times and restrictions. And yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So
brilliant. Thanks
for telling us about SHMU Radio.
Thanks
for telling us about the research, which I'm sure will be of interest to some people who are either watching now or are watching later when we're not live. And thanks for telling us about some of the things that you're involved in as well, Sandy.
That's okay. You're very welcome.
Okay.
Fascinating conversation, a fantastic guest. So there we go. That's good to get some good feedback.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if anybody wants to join us on Friday for our Feel Good Friday, we'll be doing a second half of the discussion about the adult social care video, and and we've got somebody from CCPS joining us next week.
We have. We're talking about the big ideas, CCPS and big ideas. Yeah, so that's Wednesday the 17th. Back on now. We've also got Tuesday Talk next week. We've got Tuesday Talk.
Michael's back up. Yes, talking about Paralympics and stuff.
Yeah. Excellent.
So good stuff. Well, brilliant. Thanks everybody, and we shall catch you again later.
Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.